got smashed. But we got smacked. But we got smacked. But we got smashed, bro. So.
3, 2, 1, go!
What's up? It's your boy Levelhead back with another live and leveled gamers podcast. I have my crew here: K-Bum 20, Keith, Mr. Keith Norris, all in your internet streets, all in your eardrum, beating on the inside of your skull. We are here. What's up, people?
What's up?
Yeah, we took a hiatus last week. We apologize. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but we got to talk about some stuff here. We kind of mentioned this stuff a little earlier back when he first got into presidency. Mr. 47, who I wish was still 45. Anyway, let me stop. He's going to make our gaming expensive again. We got to talk about these tariffs. We got to talk about graphics. Are they not as good as last generation? And then we just gonna let it go, because this tariff talk, I don't know how we gonna go. But our president and chief thinks it's wise and smart to an economy that's already struggling and people that can barely afford food. This is what he thinks is the best way forward. Eggs costing $8, $9. But smart man right here. Oh my God. Anyway, how y'all feeling on tonight?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm ready to get into this, man. I'm gonna have to reset my computer, about to install an update, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay.
Trying to be like me.
Mr. Norris, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm actually pretty energized tonight. I don't know what's going on, but I feel pretty good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let y'all dudes kind of break the ice. Give me about 5 minutes. K-Bum 20, keep those. Take over. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Hey, K-Bum, did you get a chance to watch Daredevil?
I have not gotten the chance yet. It's something that I am working on doing. It's gonna be a little minute before I get into it. Probably next week. I'll try to get caught up. I'm still behind when it comes to Marvel right now. I'm behind when it comes to Spider-Man and some other series that came out. So I'm working on it. I'm getting there. But I am behind.
Yeah, I watched like the first 15-20 minutes of it. Very like it started off kind of slow, but then it picked up like really, really fast. And what I was curious about is if they were going to continue on with how the Netflix series ended, or just the graphics and the level of detail that the Netflix series had. And it seems like we're back in it. And this is actually a part of the MCU, right? Like Daredevil now?
Yeah. This is MCU.
Oh, okay. So I would assume that this is going to be even better. So they're letting us know, like I said, I only watched like 15-20 minutes. So they're letting us know that the graphics, the blood, all that stuff that you appreciated, the fighting from the Netflix series, it's returned. It's good.
And that's good, because I was wondering if they were going to do that, right? If they were going to actually utilize the palettes from the original, right? So that's a big deal, a big part of it. So I was very interested in that they were going to do that. It's good to hear that they are. But so it makes me excited to see it, man. I'm hoping Marvel needs a win when it comes to the TV shows, because some of the series have not been on point.
Yeah, but hey, just wait till you watch Spider-Man. I think you're going to enjoy Spider-Man.
I'm like 2-3 episodes in.
Okay. What's okay? So you tell me, since we're waiting on Level to get back, what universe is this, or is this a universe? Like, what are we doing here?
The Spider-Man?
Yeah, because he from, well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but he got his powers. Got his powers, but it was different. It happened in a different sequence. So I'm just wondering if this is a different universe. that that's different from the comics, or is this in line with what the comics are doing?
I definitely believe this is different.
Okay.
Hey,
I don't believe this is the same universe. I believe this is a little bit different.
What's this you talking
You
about?
think is it original?
I think it is. I think it's original universe. I don't think they're. I don't believe they're taking it from anything from the comic. I think they're doing it new just for the series.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
What's up, Comic Book Crunch? It says you heard. Yeah, he had to bring She-Hulk to get into the MC.
No.
I don't know what y'all was talking about, but
Read that again.
yeah, he
Read
had
that
to
again.
bring She-Hulk to get into the MCU. I don't know. That must be.
He said you had to bang She-Hulk to get into the MCU.
Oh, I missed all that. Okay, never mind. With that being said, okay. But welcome to the show, people. I'm sorry I had to finish off my burger that was cooking upstairs, and I didn't want it to burn. But this is episode 367. We're going to talk about these tariffs and what effects it may have on the gaming landscape from now to the future. We already seeing stores like Best Buy and different ones already trying to hike up prices even on stuff that they already have in their warehouses. We talk about all this. This is crazy stuff. But we also want to talk about Digital Foundry's video questioning whether graphics are as good as last generation. And then we just going to let this conversation go where it goes. Have any of you guys checked out Daredevil yet?
All right, so that's what we were talking about before you
Okay.
came back. That's what Comic Book Crunch was referencing. Yeah, and I was telling K-Bum, like I said, I only watched the first 15, 20 minutes of the first episode. And like I was telling them, like, they pick up right where the Netflix series left off, meaning like the graphics, the fighting, of how, bloody and such that show was. They pick up right where that left off. Again, I haven't finished the full episode, but I can't wait to get back at it.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't watch Daredevil when it first, on I think when it was on Netflix and all that.
Like at all?
Not at all, man. I watched what was the one Iron
Fist.
and what was
Jessica Jones.
Not Jessica Jones, the one that did the martial arts.
That's Iron Fist.
Then what's the black guy? Luke Cage. Luke Cage and
Oh,
Iron
Luke
Fist is
Cage.
what I watched. I like Luke Cage. Iron Fist was okay, but man, the grittiness, the violence, the man, I was brother, I was shocked. I won't spoil anything, I won't say anything, but that opening scene captures you right off top, and just to see how they depicting the Daredevil, he's already a very interesting character for me. So I look forward to. I watched both episodes last night, and that's when I hit you guys up and like, man, Daredevil is that deal, man. So anyway, yeah, man. We're going to go ahead and get into what you've been gaming on since we started a little late. I apologize. I just couldn't jump on right at 8:30. But we're going to go into what you've been gaming.
Okay. People, I'm sorry we started late. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna take a moment, and I'm gonna throw it to Level Head, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, boy, 50K. I haven't heard much from you about it. I know this ain't a sports podcast, but LeBron, I don't think that record is ever going to be touched. 50,000.
Well, let's go
That's
ahead.
never going to be touched.
Let's give our boy some claps. Go ahead.
Wait a minute, your boy.
Give my boy some claps. He deserves all the accolades and praise. He deserves to be celebrated as the greatest player.
Yeah.
Let me stop for keep. Okay, since you opened this door, Keith, I won't do that. But I'll say this, man. It is dope. It is nice to see my boy, doing it at this age. 40 years old, playing like he's 25, 26, 30. LeBron is, at the current moment, beating Father Time. He is putting foots to the derriere of Father's Time right now. Preferably, I'm going to be honest, man, as a fan of the sport, watching Jordan back in his day and being a fan of Jordan, Iverson, then coming to LeBron, it's going to be absolutely strange when this brother retired. That's how long I am 45 years old. LeBron has been playing since I was 22. Did y'all just hear what I just said? I am 45 years old. And LeBron has been playing basketball since I was 22. A nappy head snot nose in college. This brother's been playing. When I was back there kicking K-Bomb butt and Tekken in college with Zeke, and I'm surprised he ain't said nothing. Anyway,
he had to reboot his computer.
did I get that off?
I'm listening to this nonsense. I'm just gonna let him ramble on.
When we was young snotty nose running around the BSU,
don't be
praising
saying we.
the Lord. When we was some young snotty nose running around the BSU, singing and praising the Lord. This how long LeBron has been playing. LeBron has been playing so long, you can go back to when you met your wife. I remember when y'all met. That's how long this man been playing. I can go back to our college days, and LeBron had started playing. This brother's been in the league for a long time, and it don't look like he got any signs of stopping no time soon. So, yeah, 50K is amazing. Do I think anybody will beat it? No, I really don't. I think he's trying to run up the score. I wouldn't be surprised. LeBron got to the 40K win 2 years ago.
I can tell you.
When he passed Kareem, it was 2 years ago, right? Yeah, it was 2 years ago when he passed Kareem.
I wouldn't count him.
So if LeBron stays on this trajectory for another 2 years, he can possibly run that score up to either 55 to 60K. At that point, no, Keith, I don't think nobody reaching 50. Because you got to be.
I don't think nobody. You got to play a long time.
You got to play a long time. You got to be elite. You got to average 27. You got to average 27 a game to get to where this dude is at for 20 plus years. So, anyway, yeah. Shouts out to my boy LeBron. Keith, I appreciate you. I know that took a lot for you to do that. So I appreciate you on tonight. I really do. The opening that door let me have a moment. You didn't throw no salt on my guy. And I know as a Kobe fan that is extremely hard to do. And he playing for your Lakers, which you can't stand. But Keith, I thank you. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sing his praises on the platform with no pushback. K-Bum, I don't know what he's finna say, but Keith, wait a minute, he set me up. Let's go on to what you've been gaming on before this goes left. Are y'all ready?
Let's go.
Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. Yeah. What's up, Kawan? Welcome to the show, bro. My guys, what's up, bro? I didn't see you. Darkwing Dragon, welcome to the show. Look what he said. Look what he said, y'all. He said LeBron trying to be the PlayStation 2 of basketball ball players. He's trying to be the PlayStation 2. I don't know if y'all get that analogy, that comparison.
No, he gonna find some point somewhere. That's what's gonna happen.
See, you just had to, Keith. You just had to.
He said the PlayStation 2. He said the PlayStation 2. They finding numbers.
They are finding numbers. You tell the truth, but that's not LeBron. But look, Darkwing, I got what you were saying, bro. I'm not gonna let Keith do that.
Why is my name constantly being brought up? I ain't said nothing about no LeBron.
I said Keith. Let me just slap yourself, sir. I did correct myself.
You keep my name out.
Yeah,
Go Will Smith.
You just mad because I was up there putting foots to faces on Tekken back in the college days.
Don't do that, man. The Lord hears you, brother. The Lord hears you, my brother.
Above the church, y'all. We was above the church at the college, and your boy was putting foots to faces, running them out the room, boy. K-Mom, you don't remember that?
You don't remember that.
You don't remember when Miss K-Mom had to walk you down the stairs, chill and console you and build your confidence back up? You don't remember that?
Now I'm trying to be nice, but you are going real heavy on this now. You going real heavy on this now.
Hey man, I didn't get to talk with y'all last week. Let me have my moment, K-Mom. Man, I feel good to be with my peoples, my fellas. But welcome to the show. Anyway, so who going first? What you been gaming on? Who want to take the floor?
I'll take the floor.
All right.
I am still playing Spider-Man. But guys, I gotta say something, man. Excuse me, Spider-Man 2. I gotta say something. And I promise you I'm not throwing shots or shade or anything of that nature. I'm getting kind of bored. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting kind of bored playing the Spider-Man game. That's all. That's it. That's all.
I don't think Spider-Man 2 was as good as Spider-Man 1, to be honest. I don't think the story held as much weight as Spider-Man 1 did. There were some things I did in Spider-Man 2 that was kind of like meh. But I definitely think Miles Morales was an amazing game. Thought Spider-Man 1 was dope,
Facts.
but 2 didn't really hit on all. It's similar to me. It was similar to Ragnarok, where the second one didn't really live up to what the first one established, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Miles Morales. I hate to sound biased, if you know what I mean, but that was an amazing game, and I guess because it hit the sweet spot, meaning like it wasn't too long. It probably could have been a little bit longer, but it wasn't too long and convoluted to the point where it's like, okay, y'all just padding this just to make it long. And I kind of don't like the switching back and forth. I don't know if I'm at the point in the game now where you can do it when you want to, but maybe I'm still too early. But I kind of don't like the back and forth right now. Like I'll be playing. Say what?
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I apologize.
I'll be playing with Miles or just whoever, and you get in a groove, and then you got to switch characters that's kind of doing something similar. Or I think I was doing something that swung over to Peter's house, and then it said switching to Peter, and then something happened where Miles had to get there, but he was so far away. And it's like, no, he was just right there because I was just Miles. Like this don't even like that type of stuff. Kind of like breaks the immersion. Like I'm almost there. Give me about blah blah blah. Like dude, you were just here. So, I don't know, but it's cool.
I think there were there was too many villains in this one. Like not too many villains. Sorry, too many storylines in this one, and I think that's where it didn't really. It was kind of it wasn't that it was all over the place. It's just you had different threads going in different places and at different times, and it didn't really pay off the way you wanted it to, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, we both said at that time we kind of grew bored with Spider-Man 2, so you're not saying anything we didn't articulate at the time, Keith.
Okay.
Hey, read Darkwing Dragon's post. Hear me. I got food in my mouth, so I'm trying not to read it. Read it.
I'll read it because it actually intrigued me. He said, "Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm playing Starfield right now.
Starfield
with the mods. I basically turned this game into Star Wars, and it's actually fun now. I need to know what you're talking about, sir.
You need
I
that. You
need to
need that
know what
mod.
you're talking about.
You need that mod.
I need them mods because
My
I
life.
would love to do that.
you ain't touched it in a while, bro.
I no, I barely touched it in. Like I couldn't get far in the game. I was like, I think I had a crash or something, or it's just I don't know. But I'm intrigued with what he's talking about. If you want to lay out what you're talking about, if it's too much to type, I apologize. But you got me intrigued with that one.
Okay. K-Bone. Is that it, Keith? I ain't want to run past you. You're not done.
Yeah, I ain't playing that but Spider Man.
Okay. K-Bone, your floor.
No problem. I'll go ahead and be quick. So, your homie, I haven't said it on the podcast, so I'll say it right now. And I'll put it on the Twitters, but I'll go ahead and put it in the podcast. Your boy has hit Celestial in Marvel's Rivals. What that means is that I'm about the top 1% of all gamers on Marvel's Rivals. About my skill level, my determination, what I can do out there on the battlefield. Um, but yeah, so I got the Celestial, and I've actually I had stopped playing for a while. I actually created another account is what I did so I can play with my other friends because I passed them a long time ago. So I actually created another account so I can play with the homies because they're still like down in platinum and stuff like that. So I've been playing rank mode with them to kind of get them up and into higher levels and kind of playing different characters while I'm at it. Not my main, but yeah, I'm actually pretty legit with my main character. Like I said, it was really a real tall mountain
Who
to climb
who
to get
who
that
is your
high up.
main character?
Mantis.
Mantis. Oh, I know who it is, but I just wanted them to know.
Yeah, Mantis is my main. So pretty proud of myself, man. I've never gotten that high in a hero shooter before, in a ranked system hero shooter before, but that was legit. Pretty proud of myself. Probably can go a little higher, but I kind of at that level, every game is sweaty. Right,
Okay.
every game is intense. You got to be locked. You got to be locked in 100% of the time. If not, two mistakes and you lost. Right, so I wanted some more chilled games, and so I created a new account. So with that, I got kind of bored because I didn't want to play my main account. And then my brother and my homies weren't online, and so I jumped into another game to play to kind of fill in the time. That other game is
Oh.
Overwatch 2.
What?
Yeah.
so
What?
Why?
so so for those who haven't really been paying attention, Overwatch 2 has had their player base drop significantly because of Marvel Rivals. And there are so many people who were Overwatch fans and played Overwatch for so long who have made the full commitment over to Marvel Rivals. What Overwatch has done is that they have made some huge changes in the game. I mean, like huge changes in the way that the game works. They finally added hero bands. They added this perk system. They've added more changes to it. I mean, they've added some huge changes in the game that's actually made the game play a lot different. And so one of the YouTubers that I watch who had given up who had given up Overwatch around the same time that I gave up Overwatch and was matter of fact, his YouTube channel used to be called Your Overwatch. The man has rebranded the YouTube channel to just be his name. That's how much he stepped away from Overwatch. That he removed the title of his YouTube page and is now using his name instead of the title Your Overwatch. And he's been on Marvel Rivals, but with this change and this big update, I wanted to hear his thoughts on it, his reviews, and he actually stated that this was the most fun he's had playing Overwatch 2 since the Overwatch 2 launched. And so I said, you know what? I know he's been real skeptical. Like he's been really down on Overwatch. So let me give it a try, and I did. And it's actually cool. I guess it's more fun because the characters that I main in Overwatch are actually pretty good in this version of the game, and so I actually I've been having fun playing it again. But as of right now, it's just a substitute for Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is still my main game. But when I don't have anybody online, I don't feel like being in the sweaty matches at my high level, then I can see myself playing Overwatch. And lastly, I'll get that so I can hand it off to Brother Level. I'm still playing The Last of Us 2.
Nice.
I have. I'm almost certain I have passed the halfway mark. I feel that way. But I can't play that game too late at night. I'm just like, nah, man. Nah.
Scared or just
Nah, it's just it's just the whole game is just dread. It's just
Too much
it's
for the
it's the
senses.
it's depressing. The game is still depressing. What's going on, and it's just no one's having a good time in this game. And so I don't like going to bed. That just so I play it for so long, then I switch off. But it's like I said, it's just a in between type of game that I do between Marvel Rivals. So that's what I'm gaming on.
All right. Guess it's my turn. Yes, Mia, you were late, but welcome to the show. What she say? Overwatch being the side chick is crazy. Okay, bro.
It's
right.
definitely the side chick.
Man, y'all got my boy Darkwing up here breaking down Starfield, man. He said, it's a lot. I added lifesavers complete with dedicated skill trees for bullet deflection to complement the force powers in the game. Brother, you bringing it in on tonight, man. I added Star Wars alien races and droids with languages. That's dope right there. Alien races for the player, creator, the ability to chance all NPCs with character created options. I did a lot to this game, my friend. So Keith, you need to get with him if you want to play Starfield, Star Wars Edition.
Star Fox.
I messed up. I tried to catch myself. But anyway, thank you for that Darkwing of 709. So what have I been gaming on? Okay, first of all, I've been playing on little Tekken 8. K-Bomb.
Come meet me. Come meet me. Immediately. Come immediately. Come meet me. Come catch me outside.
I gotta pay the $7.97.
Record all of it. Record every last one.
I gotta shoot up. I gotta put up this $79.99 to play you, bruh. And I don't know when I'm gonna do that. No,
I'll pay your $7.
Nah, don't do that. I'm gonna get it. But I've been. I knew what I told you. I was like, this dude gonna wanna meet up real quick. I've been playing Tekken 8. Just playing through, just trying to get my feel back. You know what I'm saying? After that, a moment up north with my boy, and I felt good to be able to get 1 or 2 or 3 wins in there. He was whooping my tail. I give it to him, but he wasn't just beating me down, but he was winning. So I give him his credit. But I felt good, and I was like, I got to get back on this. So just give me a little more time, K-Mom. Give me a little bit more time. I also played Ninja Gaiden Black remake or remaster, and it's remaking me mad again with these crazy cameras, like Lord Jesus, and no lock on, and but I'm going through it. But Keith, there was a game I played that I think you'll be shocked. So. And I'm upset that I don't have online no more because I can't continue to play it. I'm a little salty about it. So I'm going to have to spend the $79.99 at some point to get back to my free download. They spoiled me. Nintendo, take notes. You give good games and you can charge more for your online services. People might buy that stuff. Was Plucky Squire.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
No, wait a minute,
No.
man.
I
I know.
Turn my mic off.
I remember. No, don't do that. Don't do that, Keith. So I remember. Let me get out my happy voice. I feel like I'm too light. But I remember when you was talking about the game and sharing your thoughts about it. And I was like, man, you didn't like it? I was like, well, it was there. It was for free. I'm like, well, hey, why not? Let me try it out. And low key, Keith, I was enjoying it. Now, let me be fair. I didn't get super far, but I got far enough to kind of get the feel for the game. I got to where you had to go. I fought one of the bosses. I had to went back to the wizard. He told me I needed to go up to this castle to figure out what was going on, and then I started having to put the words together, unlock the gate or open the gate, and then the gate will open. I don't know if you remember those parts of the game where you had to put.
I remember.
Yeah, so I got there. So I didn't get far. So I'm not pushing back on anything that you said because I didn't get far enough to gauge whether the game was fun. Just what I had played thus far was fun and was cool. I'm gonna say this, man. Graphically, Plucky Squire is nice. Not graphically, artistically, animated wise. Plucky Squire is nice. Would you say that, Keith?
Yes.
It's a nice looking game. This is what I'm gonna say. Nintendo better be coming with it on the Switch too, because
They have nothing to worry about.
I don't believe they do. I'm talking about visually the artistic stuff. That's starting.
Talking about Plucky Squire.
Yeah, I'm talking about Plucky Squire just visually, not gameplay. I don't think they got nothing to worry about gameplay. I'm saying visually. Nintendo is people starting to catch up with Nintendo's visual magic, what they pull off. There's games out here that's catching up, especially in these indie streets. They catching up. So Nintendo, I hope that with the Switch 2, they up the ante and remind us why they are Nintendo. But Plucky Squire looks amazing to me, but I didn't get that far. But I did play it, and I'm trying to think, did I play anything else?
How did you like the freedom in Plucky Squire? Like, they just let you, just threw you out in the world and said, "All right, go explore." How did you like that part of the game?
I didn't feel like that's what they did, though. Well, they kind of did.
No,
they didn't. I
know they didn't.
Okay, so
they didn't.
Right,
and they never do. They never will.
But you get to, wait. You get to choose. Wait a minute. You get to choose whether you get a lot of input or not that much. I chose to pretty much go at it on my own. So I didn't get a lot of aid and help in how to figure it out. They gave me that option. I don't know if you noticed it was an option for a lot of assistance or not. It was when you start up the game, it's two options. You can either choose to get a lot of alerts and help and aid, or you could choose to have a little help and aid. I chose the little. So I don't know. Because I don't know which one you chose. Which one did you choose?
You know what? I don't even remember. If I chose that and that has the reason I don't like this game,
why you did,
then that's my fault. That's my fault then. But if not,
I think you might have, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was starting up, I was just trying to get into the game real fast, and I tried to skip past that part and just push the one that was loaded, that was there. But for whatever reason, it didn't go past. So I ended up reading it, and I was like, "Oh, do you want assistance? Do you want to kind of basically go at it on your own?" I said, "Well, I go at it on my own, little assistance." Because I was remembering what you said. So I was like, okay, I do little assistance. And it didn't bother me. It didn't stop me. It didn't say you got to do this and got to do that. It did it like you would normally feel it. It didn't feel it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome or did it too much like on Skyward Sword, where every time you found an item, it'll cue that thing up. I got so mad I ain't want to find nothing else. But no, it didn't do me like that, Keith. I'm be honest with you. So
let me see. I wonder what I put it on, but I don't think I had a lot of assistance. I don't feel like I. Anyways, I'm gonna let you keep playing. I can't wait. This is fun.
I can't
wait to hear what you say.
That's my point. I can't because
Oh, you can't.
it's behind
You
the
can't.
paywall. I gotta pay $79.99.
You gotta drop them.
I gotta drop them. I gotta drop them coins, man. So, so anyway, we'll see. Cause I do want to put foots to faces with K-Bum on Tekken 8, so I might drop them coins. I'm trying to wait out to the
Catch
switch.
me
I'm
outside.
You outside right now? Where you at? Anyway,
I'm ready. No matter what time it is. Wake me up at midnight. I'm ready.
I'm trying to wait out for the Switch 2. Do y'all realize, real quick, that we're literally less than a month away from the reveal of the Switch 2? Like, we literally that close? Like 4 weeks away? So anyway, with that being said, let's get into these topics. Wait, why? Okay, what is she saying? Leah, always wait till you finish. Okay. Wait, why you need online for Plucky Squire? Because you missed what I said. I'm on the PlayStation 5. It was one of the free games with the Essential, I think, is the package that I have where they offer that as one of the free games. Well, I downloaded the free game, but you had to have Essential to play it. And my subscription ran out 2 days after I got the game. So I downloaded, played it, came back, oh, can't play it. Got to pay $79.99. Sony know how to get you, bro. They know how to get you because I'm going to pay that $79.99 to keep playing that game. But anyway, so that's how Miss Nia. I almost said something. I had to catch myself. Anyway, are y'all ready to get into these games?
Yep.
All right, so as y'all can see on the front of your screen, if you're watching on your computer, if you're watching on your phone, you should be on your phone. Don't be on your computer. Watch on your phone with earphone. You see his face, Mr. 47 himself, what we have to guess we say Commander-in-Chief. I'm not going to say that, Lord. Okay, I'm let him rock. Let it rock. So this man is doing some things in this White House that he called home, his throne, his castle. He's decided. Why am I so mean? What? Okay, I'm gonna let that go, Nia. I'm gonna let that go. So Trump has decided that he wants to wage a war, a tariff war with China. He wants to wage this war with Mexico. This brother is trying to raise tariff wars with Canada. This man brought Zelensky to the office and blamed him for Russia invading. Like, we are in the twilight zone, y'all, right now. But we're not here to talk about. But these tariffs, especially on China, and we mentioned this when he first got in the office. We touched on this because he talked about it. But now, oh Lord, oh Jesus, that's right, Neil. Oh Lord, Darkwing, oh Lord, we are here. And this man is about to make our gaming experience a lot more stiffer in the pockets. He talking about making America great again. This brother said, let's make gaming expensive again. That's where we going. Back when a cartridge cost almost $110. That's how much it cost for me to play Zelda Ocarina of Time. I paid $100 for the game. Paid $100 for WCW versus NWO. Hundreds of dollars. And Trump said, we going back to that day. Hopefully, Lord Jesus, pray Jesus. Hopefully, Lord, this brother gets his act right and remove these tariffs before April hit and the Switch 2 come out, because this could literally make the Switch 2 go up by $100 or more dollars. This can make our games go up a lot. We're already seeing, I kind of mentioned this earlier, we're already seeing right now, even though they don't have to do it, and that's how greedy these companies are, because they can take advantage of the situation. Stores like Target and Best Buy and different people, even though they have the stuff already on hand in their warehouse, it's not the new imports, it's not the new stuff coming in, it's the stuff they got in their warehouse right now. They're already adding the tariff difference onto the product they already currently have, hiking up the price. So, the question is, how will these tariffs affect your gaming and our gaming if Trump stays on this course that he's on, raging war with these countries using this tactic of tariffs? Y'all understand he would lie to y'all when he said he's taxing them. No, that tax is on us, which now CNN and MSNBC and Lord knows Fox will never tell the truth. Now they want to tell you and really explain it to you now after they unlet this ghost face gremlin get into the office. The orange face bandit, that's what he is, because I don't know why he paints so much orange on his face. Anyway, so the discussion is, how is this going to impact our gaming? Who want to take the floor first? And I'm going to pull up this article. Article.
Okay, you want to go through the article first, or
no? Y'all go ahead and talk. Let's talk. I put an article. I'm gonna put an article up here in a second. I'm gonna pull it in. But y'all go ahead and talk now.
Okay, no problem. So, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a big impact on gaming. There's a big impact when it comes to the parts. When it comes to me, the biggest surprise was this. I'll start here. The biggest surprise to me when it came to gaming was the fact that but the companies get most of their CDs.
Hold up, K-Bub. Didn't you send me the article in the chat? I'm not
yeah, you sent me in the chat.
Which one is it?
Kotaku.
Kotaku? Okay.
Yeah, Kotaku.
Is it the one with the hand of the controller?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Kotaku.
It has orange face on there.
Okay, let me go farther back then. Go ahead, K-Bum. I guess I ain't go farther up.
No problem.
Okay.
So what's going on is that we get most of our CDs, or when the companies get most of their CDs from Mexico. So the CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays, whatever we're using to print the games on, come from Mexico. So what that means is the more that whatever price they have for making the games is going to increase. So just the physical copy of the games is going to increase because of the fact that they have to pay tariffs on the device they use to put the games on for physical. What they were saying is that if the price of the physical discs, good Lord,
I don't know what just happened. My God.
It's called a tongue tie.
He was struggling, wasn't he?
He was struggling.
Where your wife had to pop you in the back of your head so that word can come out? Come on,
Good
man.
Lord.
Man.
Pop him in the back of your head. Help this brother get this out.
You gotta go to Mexico to get that word.
Right. Man, let me breathe.
He was chasing him like a rabbit, running around in his holes. This word just getting away from him. Go ahead, Kate.
Man, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. But it will cost more. The physical games. And what I'm hearing is not only will physical games cost more, they're not going to let you just get by paying, $70 for the physical and then paying $60 for the digital. I'm hearing that if the physical goes up in price, the digital will go up as well.
And I don't understand why when they See, that's what you call
Even right now,
anti-consumers.
sorry, I mean, even right now, they don't have to go up in that price, but they do. The physical disc and digital do not cost the same right now, and they still
Right.
charges the same amount of money for the digital version of the game.
So I have the article up if you want me to read it. You pretty much hit it. So it says new tariffs could lead to fewer physical games and higher digital prices. Trump's idiotic tariffs against that idiotic ain't in there just in case y'all okay. Against Mexico and Canada might lead to increased prices on consoles and games. Why, Trump? Why would you come when we waiting on our system that we've been waiting on for 8 freaking years, and you bring your orange face, tangerine having, scaly back, sloppy nose, Elon Musk loving. Anyway, so President Donald Trump recently imposed tariffs on Mexico, China, and freaking Canada. Could potentially lead to higher games and console prices, fewer physical releases, such as supply shortages, according to some industry analysts. Y'all know it's true. Stop saying according to some. All of them saying it. Yes, me, I'm upset. I'm as reported by Technica, I guess that's how you say it, on March 5th. How you say that? Sarkana? Is that Sarkana?
That sounds right.
Analyst Matt Pascatella, I tried, recently posted on social media that it wouldn't surprise him to see physical games that would be subject to tariffs simply not get made. Smart. And that publishers might move to an all-digital strategy to avoid these tariffs. K-Bum, you just told y'all this. Currently, most video game discs are produced in Mexico. K-Bum said that. So whatever game discs are still printed and shipped out will likely cost more to buy due to a newly activated 25% tariffs by this fool. Anyway, remember, publishers and other companies are going to pass the cost of tariffs on to customers, like we tried to tell y'all. FAFO. Y'all done found out. Anyway. The cat is out the bag, people. And if you're thinking, well, I just buy games digitally to avoid these price increases, that might not be possible. As pointed out by Pascatella last year, publishers will either raise prices on digital games to reach parity with the higher cost of physical game. Why? Anyway, as mentioned already, simply give up entirely on producing and selling CDs. Either option is bad. Yes, it is, because we got a bad president. It also comes at a time when the future of physical media looks bleak. It's almost absent. It's not no physical. I can't remember last time I bought a DVD or Blu-ray. Consoles are also likely to be impacted by the tariffs. It's going to be a long night, y'all.
Hey, fellas, get ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I think we need to go to bed, too. The timing of that, what you just said was perfect.
Right? That was on point.
It was. I'm
Oh, y'all can hear? I thought I turned my mic off.
No.
You was on point.
You was on point. We heard you when you told them to be quiet, but we here. We here right now. Let me gather myself, people, because, you know, can I be transparent for about
Be
5
transparent.
minutes? You know, I was looking forward to 2025. I was looking for switch to long time, and we thought last year that they was going to reveal it, and I remember us fussing about it, but we got all past that, and they did what they did at the top of the year, not too long before this man became the president, and I thought that maybe he may take his time before the idiotic nonsense ensued, but I'm hurt. I really am, because I'm scared I'm gonna be paying $600 for a Switch too, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I want to pay that much for a Switch too. And knowing Nintendo, we're not gonna have that much space to download these games, because if the price of digital a physical game is gonna be what it is, then I won't be buying no physical Mario Kart 9. So that means I'm gonna be buying digital, and that means I'm gonna have to have more space. And this man is ruining April the 2nd. He ruining my year, y'all. I'm just being honest with you. This man, this orange faced villain, this criminal in chief. Yeah, I'm saying it. Twice impeached. How many felonies? Wait a minute. How many felonies did he have?
30, 37, 34, 37?
30, enough that if we had him, we wouldn't be president. The man is taxing Canada and Mexico.
And China.
No. We know they want to fight China, but our close friend Canada, our friends, we got friends in Canada. Canada has a NBA basketball team, y'all. Toronto is in Canada.
Tax them too.
Drake is in Canada. I think I'm done, man. I don't want to talk about this no more. I'm done. It just sucked all the life out of me. Go ahead, take over, K-Bum.
I'll pick up because Charity Man did pick up a statement. So to your point level, and Charity Man is pointing out the fact that
y'all send a prayer up for me. Just pray for me, please. Send up timber. Go ahead, K-Bum.
No problem. So there was an article today about Trump delaying some tariffs for Canada and Mexico.
I know, I saw that. For 2 weeks.
What you have to understand. So let me help out with this understanding. What he did at the beginning was a blanket, just across the board, 25% increase for Mexico and Canada. What he just signed today was that there were certain goods that were a part of the trade agreement that he introduced when he was his first reign, his first term as president. Those items that were a part of that trade agreement is not going to be subject to that 25% tariff. Is going to be delayed until April 2nd. Video games or the CDs are not a part of that trade agreement, which means that our gaming space will still be affected. Computers are also not a part of that trade agreement, which means that the PC space will also be affected. So and I believe they said 38% of only 38% of the goods that Canada sells in America will be affected by will be exempt from that from the 25% increase. Be affected. So there's still a lot, especially that relates to the gaming space, because a lot of electronics are still going to be hit with the tariff. That's going to affect us, and that is going to go in effect, and is going to be impacted. So, with that being said, one thing I want so I know we kind of joked and kind of fun laugh, but one serious note I want to say while we're on this podcast, and yeah, we talk about video games. This is a hobby that we enjoy. This is something that we do in our free time, our spare time. For some of us, this is what we do to wind down from the day. This is our escape, part of our escapism from the real world and the stress and everything else that goes with that. With the I know for some of us, with the obligations and the responsibilities that we have, and this is something that we do. It's not a requirement. It's not one of those needs. It's something that we enjoy. But we're going to see increases here. But what's worse than that, and I know I'm stepping on my little soapbox right here, is the essentials that we need that are going to be impacted by these tariffs. And so I know this is a gaming podcast, but I do want to say to those out there, just prepare yourself. Save as much money as you can to bear this winter this new winter we're about to get, this economy winter that we're about to get, because he is playing the game of trying to bully these countries into doing his will. That's the whole reason why we're taxing Canada. It is a bully move to make them uh, do what he wants him to
To
do. That's
bend
the
the
whole,
knee, to bend the knee. We
to
know.
bend the knee to Trump. Canada has already stated they are ready to do this for the long haul, and that they will keep their tariffs on America until America budges. And they said not a day before. So be prepared. Save up money for your essentials. Make sure you guys have that covered because it's going to be this may be a long rocky road because I'm also hearing that there's going to be more countries that's going to be tariff as well as he tries to reenact these tariffs as a way to um, like I said, get people to bend the knee. Because if this was really something that we were trying to do to boost the economy, it would be selective, right? Just like how we have now. Have
Right.
we? There's particular tariffs, and I use this example. Then I'll get off my soapbox. There is particular tariffs on. I don't know if you guys know, but on foreign trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Foreign trucks are like F-150s. So those being made by foreign countries. Japan, China, and anywhere else, we have a tariff on those trucks. The reason why we do that is because we want to give our homegrown um,
Industry.
car companies
Yeah.
like GM and Ford that
A
we want to give them a
competitive
and
chance.
Buick and everybody else a chance to get a stronger foothold in the truck market. And
Right.
so we tariff the ones that come from overseas to give our homegrown companies a chance to compete with the prices and have a space.
Right.
That is a selective tariff that is there to boost American made car companies to give jobs to Americans and so on and so on. What we're seeing here is not anything strategic. This is uh,
It's strategic,
clearly
but it's not about boosting anything. It's
it-
strategic
it's,
though.
it's not about economy. It's not about
Right.
boosting the economy. It is trying to get these countries to do what they need to do. So yeah, so that's my little soapbox. I wanted to step
Right.
on it real quick while we're talking
Right.
about this. We can take it back to gaming, but I just wanted to
And y'all want to know
get that one
why?
out the way.
Y'all want to know why we don't have any foreign electrical cars, at least from China?
They're amazing.
Because they're way cheaper and way more advanced than ours. So the government, even before Trump came into office, the government
Mhm.
gave money. They made an
Sub-
agreement with Elon
subsidized,
Musk,
subsidized. Yep.
subsidized to make those Teslas that y'all paying $100,000 for in order to compete with China. And they doing better electrical cars for much cheaper. That's why they can't come over. They got 100% tariff on those cars. They can't even come over here because they way better than our electric cars, way more efficient and way more cheap. So this is bigger
And they
than
park
gaming.
sideways. They park sideways. I don't know if
Right.
you've seen the
Yeah.
cars. They
I seen them.
like
I seen them.
wheels turn and they
They're
park
Yeah.
amazing.
sideways. It's crazy.
So this is bigger. But at the same time, yes, what K-Bomb said, this is bigger than gaming, folks. This thing, I know we talking about gaming, but this is a real for real situation. We don't want to take this stuff light. We are in a conundrum. We are in a situation where you better start thinking about your future. That's why I said I don't even know. That's why I'm hurt. When I say I'm hurt, I'm serious. I was excited about the Switch 2. At this moment, I don't even know if that's going to be even a priority of mine, depending on what's going on and how. We are in a different space as Americans. We've never been here before. We're not trying to turn this into a political but we grown men and we not foolish and we not stupid. Be wise, be watchful, be sober, and be praying. But anyway, let's get back on this game.
Yeah. And if you can, get you some chickens. Go ahead and get you a chicken coop. You're going to need it. I don't know if you've been to the grocery store.
Right.
But you got cartons of eggs costing $6, $8, $9. What is going on?
Yeah.
Eggs,
Yeah.
people.
A dozen $8. A dozen.
Yeah, my
eggs.
subdivision actually sent out the message saying that we are able to own chickens.
And you got enough yard back there to own them too.
So my wife was thinking about it. So we may have us some homegrown eggs at some point if things get too crazy. I'll tell you that much.
So anyway, but with that being said, listen, I'm just going to close my eyes, plug my ears, and keep playing Hello Kitty. Okay, all right. when you walk outside and you see Ellie talking about some run. Anyway, let me stop. Last of Us, I was Apocalypse. Y'all didn't catch it. Anyway, so with that being said, people be praying. I didn't want to go. We going the way that I didn't really want. I feel a whole other part of me coming up. I'm trying to push it back down. But y'all need to be praying. Y'all need to be praying. I know we talk about games, but this goes so far beyond this gaming industry. This is going to impact the world. This is impacting us in major ways. As a family man right now, we really are looking at things. Get generators, get you freezers, pack up, have those things ready because we may be hitting some unprecedented times, man. But getting back to this article. So, as reported in January, the president's tariffs could see the price of consoles drop, look at this, dramatically. Switch could potentially go from $300, where it currently is, to $400. A PlayStation 5 Pro could see its price leap from $700 to $1,000. And the Switch 2 could be slapped with a higher than expected price tag due to the ongoing tariffs, making a console that was potentially already going to be hard to buy in its first year, even trickier and more expensive to obtain. Okay, so that's the article. Keith, go ahead and bring your thoughts in here, man. Okay, let me ask this. And y'all join in the comment section. We're going to lighten the load a little bit. How much is too much when it comes to the Switch? With the tariff in mind, knowing that, okay, the only reason you having to pay this is because of this tariff, how much is too much? If the Switch was supposed to be $399 and the Switch is, dare I say, $499, is that too much?
Well, personally, I always felt like it depends on what the console presented, like what they had, to present to us and show us like the technology. So even if let's say originally it was going to come off at $499 and the tariff brings it to $599, I was okay with that. But just the fact that I'm going to have to pay more just because Trump doing his Trumpisms, yeah, that's kind of annoying. That's very annoying. But to me, just to keep it gaming, I think y'all did a masterful job of what y'all just said. To keep it gaming, I've always felt like it's based on what the tech is. But how much? I think $499 should be. I think that's a cap. Like no more than $499. I think getting into the $599, $699, then you're gonna have people not wanting to press that button, and you're gonna have a lot of people who just have throwaway money. But as K-Bone just said, maybe that's not a smart idea. Maybe you don't need to throw away your money. So it's gonna hurt a lot of things, and maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the strategy. Is so like y'all said, so they would bend the knee and fall in line. Maybe that's the plan because we are a huge market over here. We consume a lot of stuff. And if people are, because I think I asked y'all in the comment section, I know K-Bone responded, they're not going to decrease our taxes or, kind of offset it to make anything better. We're just going to have to pay more for things with the same amount of income that we've been having, correct?
Yeah.
The money supposedly is supposed to be given is supposed to be for tax breaks for the rich. And so the point
Yeah.
is, it's the part of the whole Reaganomics where if you create tax breaks for the companies and the rich, therefore it trickles down
Yeah.
to the little
Trickle
people.
down
So that's
economics.
yep.
Cut the taxes for the rich, and then hope that the rich will then pour that back into businesses and
The
different. Yeah,
economy and
yeah.
business. Yep, and create
Rather
jobs
That's
and
rather than
everything else.
rather
stupid.
than just tax them their proper taxes and be done with it, and everybody be the better and make them pay you what you owe. No, we just gonna let three people own more wealth than half of all Americans. Anyway,
It's so stupid.
it's greed is
That's
sickening, man.
that's
Greed is a
that's
sickness.
never gonna work.
Greed is.
But
a
yeah,
sickness.
if it was the other way around, where you, like you said, taxing what they're supposed to be taxed, the economy would be flourishing. The tariffs would make sense because, but if we're still going to be taking on the burdens and stuff like that, that's foolishness. And them folks not going to do it. They're going to be buying islands and all this other stuff,
But
trying to get away from
you,
everybody.
you're going to see CEOs with bigger and bigger payouts. Is what you're going to see. It's normally how it works.
But as far as like the purchasing of games, I do want to touch on that a little bit.
The
I mean,
digital
I don't
part.
even remember I don't even
Okay,
remember the
go ahead.
last physical game I bought. Honestly, I've been digital on Switch and PC for the longest. When it comes to space, I play the game, beat the game, I delete the game. I I don't hold on to it. I don't hoard it. Even with the last Zelda game, I bought it digitally. I bought Emio digitally. So for me, buying games digitally isn't a problem because I'm going to play them, get my experience, and then I'm done with it. It sucks that they're going to try to make parity. I get it because they never did lower the price when the games became available. I think on the 360, the full games, PS3's 360, the full games became available and they never lowered the price. And we thought they were because of the disc, the booklet, the paper, the manual, and all the other stuff was no longer needed, but the games remained the same price. So that I get it. They're gonna make parity. They're just gonna be making more money off of us like they normally do. So, but
Go ahead. My bad.
no, I was gonna kind of repeat the same thing I just said. So you can go ahead.
Well, my thing is this, man, and I guess I'm opening up the floor for comments on this and y'all respond. Like we just said, greed is a sickness because if you can save your fan base and your consumers the stress by, okay, since they're taxing these physical things that we need to make physical games, we just adjust and go digital and put in. Why not just give the digital game at the price that it would normally be, and that'd be a bigger incentive to go digital, one, and it'll be you showing your fans that we understand the plight. Why, other than greed, take advantage of people in hard positions? That's why I said Best Buy and Target and all these companies, even now, why they don't have to. There is no reason to. They have these items already in their warehouses by the droves, are already adding the tariff difference, not because that stuff they bought with at the tariff price with the 25% hike. So what happens when they bring those goods into our ports? Best Buy pays that 25%, and then they get their money back on the consumer by hiking up the price to make up the difference. So that 25% on that, Best Buy has to pay that 25%. Kmart, Target, Walmart, they all got to pay that 25%, and then they get that 25% back off of us. Everything goes up. Now, they already got this stuff stored up in warehouses. That stuff is already paid for. But they're going to turn around and tax us at the tariff difference because they can, not because they have to.
Because they can.
Because they
Bingo.
can. So I don't understand why a company like Microsoft or Sony, hopefully they don't, but we ain't there yet, so we don't really know what they will do. This person we got to let's put it out here. This person assumes that they will do this, right? They don't know. Let me see. He says, and if you're thinking, well, I'll just buy games digitally to avoid. I'm pulling the cable on right there. Digitally to avoid the price increase. That might not be possible. As pointed out by Pascatella last year, publishers would either rise prices or on digital games to reach parity with the. This is him speculating. So I'm gonna hold that out. With people like Phil Spencer and people like Nintendo, I'm gonna hold out that they may not actually do that. We'll see. But if they do that, that's really gonna show that these companies, all of them, are just greedy no matter what. But I'm gonna hold out hope that they will see the plight of their fans and their consumers with the tariffs wars and how this is affecting us, and to offset that, to let us do it digitally, get the game digitally, and give us the normal prices that we normally have. It's not affecting them because it's digital. Nothing physical about this transaction. You shouldn't hike this price up. You should leave it at the price. If it's $69.99, it should stay $69.99, not $70 or $80 because of a tariff that's not affecting a digital product. To me, that's going to show us what type of companies these companies are. And if they do that at this point and how much I play, hey, I'll be on the fishing bank. I don't have to pay but $12, $13 to get out here on these conservation camps and rivers. And I pay about $30 to go over to Illinois. That's where I'll be. That's where my gaming money be, on lures, hooks, weights, lead, thread, and poles. And I'm talking about fishing poles anyway. So
You ain't talking about that. Not them other poles.
Not them other poles. Fishing poles, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, any other thoughts on this topic?
I did want to jump on this really quickly because you asked the statement why would they do this, why would why would a company look to make more money? It's funny because I'm reminded of Keith's Boy, of the commercial where Mr. Kobe Bryant was talking to Kanye, and he was like, "How many records can you break? Have you broken more records?" You remember the commercial I'm talking about, Keith? Yep. And so to me, that is the DNA of what makes America America. We are a capitalistic society, which means if there's money to be had, there's money to be had. You also have to understand level. There's stakeholders in it. The stakeholders they want money,
Right.
and so you make decisions, and that's why we have things where they put in lower quality ingredients because it's cheaper, because it makes the stakeholders happy because now there's a bigger profit margin. This is the DNA of America. We do it for the almighty dollar. And if there's money to be had, which means we can fake this extra 20% or 10%, and we can put that into the price, and we can match the digital with the physical, because we do it now. So why not? I don't see the companies in any point uh, um, taking a break or giving a pass, right? Because the first person that raised the game up to 70 to 60, $69 this generation, everybody else is like, oh yeah, we can do that. Oh, bet everybody raise the price of your games. 'Cause that's what happened, and now we're paying $69 for the games because one person said, I think my game is worth 69. And so I don't see it changing. I see America for what it is. It is a country of opportunity. It also is a country, and Love, you said it many times, agreed. And these companies are going to do what they need to do. And even the fact that these companies are Japanese companies, when we talk about Sony and we talk about Nintendo, these places that they're in, but they still have stakeholders. They are still selling to the West. And that is the DNA of the West. It is the almighty dollar. So I don't see us catching a break, to be honest with you. If that tax hike, and what I actually see, to be honest, if they do raise the price, so let's just say let's say this hypothetical, and then we can move on. Say those tax hikes hit, the tariffs hit, and to make it work, right? They raise the price of video games, so the price of physical games go up. Do we think when the tariffs are gone, they're going to put the price down back to where it was?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You've already been paying it. Why would we go back?
Why would
You've
we
already
go back?
proven that
Right.
you've already
Nothing is
proven to
going
me
back.
that you don't have a problem with it. So
Nothing is
And
going
just
back.
keep paying it.
exactly.
I look at I never would have assumed or thought that Nintendo would jump in on it when they did Tears of the Kingdom. I think they were just testing the waters to see what their fans would actually do. I don't think they had a reason to raise their game up to $69.99, but they did,
Not at all.
and we bought it. We bought it.
This is depressing, man. I apologize for such a heavy-handed podcast tonight, but blame it on the orange-faced bandit 47 because it's his fault with his nonsense. Are we done with this subject? I'm almost ready to get off this podcast. I'm
almost
time
done. Mr. Comic Book Crunch, I am a GameFly guy, but understand this: GameFly gonna get their money. If they're paying extra money for these consoles, guess what's gonna happen? Your GameFly account is going to raise up as well. So I may have to drop GameFly because it may not be cost effective, and may have to go pure digital. Because if they raise that price, I just may play less games in my gaming sphere if that happens, because I'm not paying a ridiculous amount for the GameFly. So just thought I'll touch on that.
Okay, so that was the podcast for tonight. I think I'm a little just.
Oh,
I'm just messing. I'm messing. So, this next subject, I think we could get back into our normal vibes. Like I said, I'm gonna end on this. Pray for your government. Let me go into my biblical bag. We are instructed, as much as we might not like these people, much as it seems like they are the axes of evil, cruel. We are instructed to pray for them. I remember everybody loves to quote Jeremiah when it says, I know my plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans to do you no harm, all that. You do realize when God told them that they were in the 70 years of exile. They were in a tough, trying, stressing time when that's when God said, I know my plans. He told them to pray for Nebuchadnezzar, pray for the Babylonians, pray for them. I know I'm taking y'all to another place, but just track with me right here. This is what we do. He said, pray for them in leadership. Pray for the people in our government. Yes, they can be Babylon idiots, but pray for them. That they pray for them and pray that their plans don't succeed. That's what David did. David said, don't let their plans succeed. Pray against them. Y'all better become very acquainted with your Lord. I don't know if you're a faith-driven person, a spiritual person, be praying. Pray for these people. Pray for your commander-in-chief. Pray for
You
the
almost
Senate.
lost me until you said pray against them, and I was like, I'm with you. Okay, we back on the same team.
Pray that they plan don't succeed. Pray,
fail.
pray that God gets the glory out of all this. Pray that they plan don't succeed. Pray for them. Pray that they, pray. I'm just telling you what to do. Anyway, so let's go to our next subject, and that is the graphics. Now, Mr. Norris, I'm going to let you bring this one up because I think this was one of the topics you wanted to discuss. And did you give me something to use here, sir? Was it a video?
It's a digital foundry video, and actually,
Where is it at? Is it
It
farther
was
back
K
up?
Bum. I think I sent it
Is
in the
it?
thing, but it's the Digital Foundry video. Because remember, he asked you the question. K Bum asked you,
Yep, you did.
what are your
You
thoughts
right.
about this conversation that they were having about graphics and whether or not graphics have this current generation, are they underwhelming?
I thought we talked about
We
it, but
talked
yeah.
about it. We talked about it in the chat, but we didn't talk about it on the
Okay,
podcast.
so I got it here. Let me pull it up. How long is this video? 12 minutes. So let's pull it in. Let
I think we can skip like the first 2 minutes because it's him kind of reading the question before they kind
okay.
of get into the answer.
So skip to how far into this?
I don't have it on hand. Let me see if I can find it. But I know the first couple of minutes, he's actually just reading the question, and we've
Okay.
already set the groundwork for it, so we don't really
Okay.
need to hear the
So let's
question again.
go. All right, right. I think I will.
Rate
Okay.
of growth in terms of graphic
So let's
visuals,
go.
but it does come with a cost.
So
which I
listen
think
up,
is maybe
people.
what's causing this.
Fair
I'm
use,
curious what you
Digital
think about
Foundry.
this. Correct. And I think it's a multi-pronged approach. And first, I would say that we are in sort of a state of growth in terms of graphics technology. And this is a state of growth that we've been in many times before, such as when 3D was first introduced to the world. It was very rough early on, but it was a necessary, difficult step to get there. During the PS360 generation, that was also a very difficult time. That was when we saw the rise of modern programmable pixel shaders, vertex shaders, and a lot of other modern techniques, real-time shadow maps everywhere, real-time lighting. But in many ways, it could be argued it looked worse than the generation that came before it. Now I think we're facing a multitude of problems that are all kind of coalescing together to create sort of something that I can see someone perceiving as a step back. First of all, you look back to say, one example that always springs to mind is something like Uncharted 4. Especially, I'm going to point out there's this room at the end during the epilogue to the game that is often highlighted as like, look at this is amazing. And it absolutely is. The reason it looks so amazing is because they have pre-calculated some beautiful lighting, and that combined with, of course, the artistry of the team that worked on the game, right? So this is like you're starting from this point. You have this beautiful area, beautiful room specifically. So what modern technology is trying to do, obviously, is, okay, can we reach this fidelity, but actually generate it in real time? That's where we're moving towards. But why do you want to do it in real time? Well, one, that makes the actual lighting a lot more flexible in terms of what you can do with it. If it's just a single room like that, that's fine. Maybe you don't need it, but in a lot of cases, it can be very beneficial to gameplay because it allows for a more dynamic scene, especially once you start to tie in actual moving objects, physics-based objects, other enemies. Those things do not integrate naturally within those scenes. So that famous scene at the end of Uncharted, there's really nothing in there except for your character model walking around. And so as a result, they don't have to worry about that, which of course that opens another can of worms in terms of scoping your project based on what you're trying to do artistically, right? And all throughout history, there have been games that have attempted to push technology in one way or the other, and maybe they don't get the balance right. And they create something using technology that maybe they didn't need in the first place, right? That's a whole separate other thing. That's a problem. So part of the problem, though, with that sort of target, moving those things to real time is great. It also facilitates easier development for things like lighting artists and building these environments. But, of course, with ray tracing and all that, it has a computational cost, which we're seeing. And this has never not been a problem on consoles, and it's still a problem on consoles, in that in order to achieve this, you have to make sacrifices. In the past, that would be things like frame rate and just like raw, resolution and such. But obviously there has been a resurgence there has been an upswell in this use of reconstruction, temporal anti-aliasing, things designed to sort of minimize pixel popping and improve the overall stability of an image. But in this pursuit of performance using these demanding techniques, I would say a lot of developers do go a little bit too hard on it. And one perspective so this means image quality then suffers, right? That is the big thing. This image instability. people are picking up on it, and they're not wrong. The rise of these techniques, things like denoising not being great in Unreal Engine 5, especially with like their default denoiser. You know, you have the temporal anti-aliasing issues, you have the upsampling issues. All of these things by themselves can be solved with more input data, but because they're being pushed to this limit, everything kind of gets noisy, right? And this also varies depending on the type of screen you're using. Like on PC, I've had arguments over DLSS before where they're like, oh, I don't like it. It's smeary. It's noisy. And I'm talking from the perspective of being lucky enough to use a native 4K screen. They're using a 1080p screen. That matters a lot in terms of what the base input resolution is going to be. And it really does impact image quality. So there's that. The other point I would say about visuals as a whole is that this takes people.
The first after the first guy finished talking.
Okay.
This stuff is generated by real humans. We've reached a point where fidelity is so high in games, and it has been for so long, that just creating these assets is extremely expensive and time consuming, and not all artists are the same in terms of their skill set as well. So I saw somebody complaining that something like Avowed didn't look as good as Uncharted 4 or Red Dead Redemption 2, and they were really incensed about that. Like, how can this be a downgrade? This is a new generation. But that bumps up against this whole issue with manpower and like what people can realistically achieve and budgets and all these other things. So it's not even the technology anymore that's impacting the visual presentation, right? You can't look at one of the most revered development studios in the world with infinite resources like Rockstar. They were able to pour everything they had into making Red Dead Redemption 2. Most studios could never dream of having that talent of people, that pool of talent, that sort of budget, that amount of time to make these games. And that's what was necessary to get there. So, you know, something like Avowed has to leverage new technologies like, you know, Lumen, Nanite, and what that to sort of push its graphics game up a bit while still having constraints in other areas. So I think it's just a whole mix of these all issues coalescing together, and the fact that diminishing returns is, I would say, kind of real to a point. And that also ties in again back to the whole real-time versus baked kind of stuff that we've been able to achieve great looking visuals for so long. So, and then lastly, everybody has a different eye for things. Like what my eye focuses on, what Alex, what you see in a scene and what you appreciate can be totally different to what somebody else sees. Like the things that annoy us might not annoy another person, right? Like you have little frame inconsistencies, like little frame time spikes. There's a lot of people that do not care. They don't notice it. That's where the whole runs fine on my PC thing comes from, right? But they might really, really dislike the way smearing looks from, you know, temporal anti-aliasing and reconstruction, especially when used on a lower res monitor. And that's all they can see when they look at that screen. They the rest of it doesn't matter. They see that smearing. That's what they're laser focused on. They don't like it. And they're not wrong either. Like that's absolutely their prerogative to do it. So I think all of this stuff together.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so in other words, make all that short. The question is a lot of complaints, a lot of comparison between what we experienced during the PlayStation 4, Xbox One series, Xbox One X, as to now. And the question is, why are games looking, in some opinions, worse than last generation? Now, again, he kind of wrapped up at the end that it is all in the eye of the beholder. Some things, you know, but he did bring up that there is some situations where that is the case. But so I guess where we want to start with this, how do we want to approach this? I don't really know how. I'm being honest with you. So how do y'all want to approach this subject?
I mean, I could just kind of give a spiel about why I think games are looking worse. I guess I don't know if y'all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't necessarily think games are looking worse. I think we're looking at a case. It's definitely artistic direction, but we're looking at a case of static versus dynamic. And what we're trying to move into is a more dynamic experience, something that's real time. I remember when I was a kid, I remember seeing Resident Evil 2 I don't remember Resident Evil 1 that much, but I remember Resident Evil 2 specifically. And I remember my mind was blown about how beautiful the game was. I was like, oh my God, this is the most realistic game I've ever seen in my life. If I go back and look at it now, like, yo, that ain't nothing. But at that time, it was the most beautiful game I had ever seen, but they were also using pre-rendered backgrounds, meaning that these are static backgrounds, right? So they put them there to be this beautiful and to create the illusion that this game is a lot prettier than what it is. And then even as we continue to increase in graphic knowledge, technology, and gaming, we were still using static, and I think he mentioned it in there, like static lighting and shadows. Like you can create a beautiful scene and you can make it how you want to make it. Kind of like an artist, you take a page or you go to an art gallery or whatever, and people start to look at it from different angles, and because it's a static image. So wherever they move, the image is still going to be that image, but depending on their perspective, they're going to have a different, idea about the imagery or whatever. And that's kind of the same with games. Now, with things like what is it called? What's the lighting effect called? Ray tracing. With ray tracing, you got ray tracing lighting, shadows, things like that. Now we're trying to get into more dynamic, more realistic things. So graphics are taking more of a hit to get those things up to par, so that they won't be such of a resource hog, so that developers moving forward can utilize these techniques better in all of their games. So no matter if you're playing a game like as graphically intense as The Last of Us versus a Mario type game, they can still utilize the same lighting effects, same shadow effects to give the user, excuse me, I'm thinking about work, the gamer, give the gamer a better experience with the world, because that's what we're doing. We're taking characters and we're experiencing them in the world, and what we see every day outside of video games is real life, and we're used to dynamic shadows, dynamic lighting in real life. So when you see it in your game, no matter, like I said, if it's graphically intense like The Last of Us or Mario, you still want that sense of reality, right? And I think that's where we're going. So if you believe that games are taking a hit graphically, well, yeah, they're no longer trying to make static games. You can make anything look beautiful. As my example with Resident Evil 2, you can make that look as pretty as you want to, but there's no realistic lighting, there's no realistic shadows and all that other stuff. And I think it's just it's kind of like when we were talking about what's the engine 5? What is it?
Unreal.
Unreal Engine 5, when they're utilizing these new tools and sets and things like that, and they showed that one game that kind of looked like Tomb Raider, right? But they're just showing you what's possible, or even the Matrix demo. They're trying to show you what's possible, where we could go. When you look at people, when you look at your family members, you're looking at dynamic shadows and lightings and things like that. These are techniques, but the imagery of the person is still the same. But the more you have the shadows and lighting and things like that, the more realistic it can be. So that's the direction that we're going. So I don't think games are looking worse. I just think that the techniques are trying to improve. Like, we're trying to use new tools, new brushes, new things, so we can paint better pictures and things like that. But then lastly, it's all about the art direction. Kind of Level said it earlier with Plucky Squire. He said it earlier with Plucky Squire. Like,
I said, did he just do what I heard?
Yeah. But the game, I will agree that the game itself dynamically looks, well, it ain't dynamic because it's not, well, when you go into the 3D world maybe, but the 2D, the book, it is a pretty game. It's a pretty game, but but it's all about that art direction. But I think the tools that we're trying to develop and utilize is what the focus should be on, and not that, oh, I remember going from the PS2 to the PS3, and it was so mind blowing. We're past that. We can still make mind blowing games, but we can't. We're trying to make dynamic, realistic looking games now. And I'll end right there.
All right. K-Bum, go and give your thoughts, bro.
Man, if I could, hold on, let me do this. I hope y'all heard them clap. Gave my man.
Done, DeMarco. Oh, go ahead, man.
No problem, brother. You hit it right on the nose. I guess this is how I feel when you go after me. This is how I feel when you go after me. I just hit all the points. Man,
You do hit all the points.
man, you knocked it out the park, bro. It really is this idea of going from static to dynamic, right? And and to me, it's kind of like we're going through the ugly phases.
Mm-hmm.
This is akin to when we went from 2D to 3D. We had some ugly looking 3D games, bro. When 3D first came out, the artistic and beautiful sprites, because at that point we had gotten very good with sprites, and there was some games that looked absolutely like even Mortal Kombat for the Genesis and Super NES looked really good, like for its time. And we went from that to 3D, and there were some horrendous, brother. Some horrendous 3D games when it first came out. It was bad to the bad.
No fingers.
That shit blocks for hands. Everything was like even I know we talk about Laura Croft, but like she was just a block. It was hard edges everywhere. There was some bad looking 3D games. But we had to go through that growing pain to get to the space that we are now. If we never make that jump to 3D, we don't have the games. We don't have the games that do what they do right now.
This the demo that I always be referring to that we still ain't. We just now starting to see games look like this. I think this is Unreal Engine 3. Go ahead, K-Bum.
No problem. But we had to go through those ugly phases to get where we are when it comes to 3D space. And to me, this is the same thing we have to do for this this space of real time dynamic lighting. We have to go through the ugly phase. We have to. We want to get to the point where things are easy and better for us. We have to get ugly and create some ugly games so we can be able to make the beautiful ones. Yeah, well, press on. We're beautiful ones. We have to. We got to get there, and I agree with him that some games we're not there yet, man. We're trying to get there, but we're not there. We're making these games look beautiful. Some of these games are just bad looking games, man. They're not bad. So let me change that. They're not bad. It's that the ray tracing is not holding up. And what we haven't had this generation, we haven't had a game to come and say and show us how to do this so that everyone else can use it as a template and copy.
Exactly.
Because that's usually what happens. There's somebody that comes and shows us how to do it the right way. That shows us, this is what you have to do to make your game look a certain way. You can use ray tracing in this way, or you can use whatever in this type of fashion, and that game kind of leads us to the next. Because I think what we had the game kind of show us was the instant loading of Ratchet and Clank, right? That showed us that we can utilize this instant loading or this faster hard drives, and that ended up being used into Spider-Man, and we then they up the speed that you can traverse through the city, right? But we really haven't had that game because the fact that ray tracing is so heavy on the system, so heavy on performance. We haven't had someone to say, no, if you just do, if you use this, to me, that is what nanite was supposed to be. If you don't remember what nanites are,
Yeah.
this is the technology from UE5 that doesn't fully uses ray tracing. It is a UE5 version of pretty much ray tracing, and it's supposed to be lighter on the workload, and supposed to allow us to make better looking games with um, better looking games with less weight or performance hits, and it hasn't really come to fruition, right? It still is having issues with performance. Even that Matrix demo had issues with performance. So to me, it's we're in the early stages of dynamic ray tracing lighting. And so I think once there's a game that kind of show us the light, and maybe Sony would have made it already if they weren't making all these live services games. Maybe maybe they would have made it already. But I don't think we have a game yet that's done it. Me looking at all the games, there's some good looking games, but I don't think we have someone that says, and even with the best looking game in this generation, which is Cyberpunk, um, you just need more horsepower to run it. there's no real cheats that they're doing to show us how to utilize, how to make the game look better with less power. They're just saying, no, you need this RTX 20 million to make this game look good with this ray tracing, right? And so I think that has to happen before this generation can really hit its stride. That's kind of my opinion about it.
Okay, well then I guess the next thought would be: so do we feel like, okay, as technology advances, and one of the points I brought up, I think in the chat, was the problem I see is the technology. They have to create a reason why. It's okay. It's about money, like you said earlier, K-Bum. It's about profit, right? These companies are about profit. If we making engines that are so good that you might not need another one for a pretty long time, because as you see, these are all Unreal Engine engines that you're seeing in the demos that they showed. And since Unreal Engine 3, stuff been looking great, but you don't want to let people hold on to a really good engine, because then you're not making profit. You see what I'm saying? You need to make new stuff and force the hand of people to need to use the new stuff. So you got to create a need for the new technology in order to continue to make profit. So my question is, there used to be a considerable gap between what we would see on PC and home console, right? And I believe that gap has shrunk. And a lot of the technology that we have, we're not waiting generations away to use it. Some of this technology has been introduced and finding its way into the games within maybe months to a half year to a year after the tech was introduced. Like ray tracing, remember when they first started showing ray tracing, the next thing you know, ray tracing was already in the games and being taken advantage of in the games. So are we getting to a point to where there is not enough to, well, I mean, I don't know how to ask this. Are we getting to a point to where it's just for the purpose of profit more so than need? Where do we actually, I know we like you were saying, K-Bone, we in that stage where ray tracing is being worked out, and it is at its infant stage in how they utilizing and stuff like that. It needs time, just like 3D games needed time before we got to what we have today. They're in that stage, right? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yes.
The question I'm having is, do we actually need it? Now, I know we. I mean, not saying not to have, but do we need it to make these games look great? Have we mastered what we already have before we start trying to master the new and latest and greatest, right? Because I feel like they create a need for stuff that they don't never take the time to, like you said, work it to you understand it at its optimal and that you so good with it that you making these great games. I feel like the problem is they're constantly moving on to the next new thing and new tech and new thing that they're not perfecting anything. And I feel like we're suffering. I think these games look amazing, but these games been looking amazing since the PlayStation 3, and I feel like they really hit their stride, I said, with console, with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And at this point, even though I love my PlayStation 5, and I still don't feel like anything really is blowing me away like Ghost of Tsushima did or Last of Us 2 did. Like, visually, them games right now rival a lot of the games that we got on our PlayStation 5s. And those were PlayStation 4 games, Xbox One games. So, do we need the tech? Not necessarily do we want it, but do we actually need it? That'd be my question.
I think on a surface level, if you're not looking at it with a critical eye, you'll miss it. I know we always talk about there's not a huge gap, like an obvious huge gap between generations, right? And this isn't until they do like a side by side that you actually notice the nuances and the differences in the lighting and all those different things that you're like, oh wow, this looks so much better. Right. Yeah, our graphics have gotten that good that we need side by side just to tell. As a matter of fact, before I got on the podcast, I saw a image between The Last of Us 1 on
and hold up, Keith. PS3. This is the demo that Keith was talking about that looks like Uncharted. This is the Unreal demo that he was referring to. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that thing is beautiful. But I saw a still image of Ellie from The Last of Us from the PS3 all the way to the PS5. I don't know if it's the enhanced. No, was it PC? I can't remember. But whatever the latest enhanced, whatever. And you have to look at it with a more critical eye. Yes, this is true, but in order to continue to get those mind blowing, like, oh, this is why we need it, they have to keep doing the small things. The big things don't get us anymore. It's the small things. And if you're not paying attention to those small things and you don't care, if you're like Nia, no shots. You'll miss it, and because all of it looks good. But yes, we need it to keep pushing the envelope. And if we were to stop and just say, "Oh, this looks good," like imagine, I thought, what was that second Xbox game with Tomb Raider? I can't remember. Rise of the Tomb Raider, something of the Tomb Raider, something like that. I thought that game was beautiful, but we've surpassed that. We've surpassed that several times over. You wouldn't tell. I mean, if you go back and look at that trailer right now, you'll probably be like, man, this game still looks amazing. It does on the surface, but we've passed that already. But it's the little things that make it so much better. When they go back and they add the ray tracing and they add the shadowing, the dynamic shadows and stuff like that. So now when you're in that world, it feels real. Even though, like Nia's saying, we want the physics, but it just feels real, like you're in an actual environment. But I think we need the tech. I think we need to keep pressing the tech forward. And even when they do move on to the next thing, that doesn't mean the old tech is just thrown away. It's just that they're not focused on it I guess like the presentation. They're not focused on it that way, but they're still working on it. They're still perfecting it, but they are looking at the new stuff, whatever that might be. But they're still working on it. They're always working on it.
Okay. K-Bone, same question.
So I'm gonna do something different. And what that different thing is I'm going to agree with Level on this point.
What? Wait a
That
minute.
is
Hold
that is
up.
very different. That is very different. Hold
Very
on.
What?
What
different,
time
right?
is it? 10:30.
So let me frame my agreement. That framing is, I absolutely believe that not every game needs to be utilizing this newer technologies. We don't need ray tracing in every game. Every type of game doesn't need ray tracing. A static, so a game that's like um, a turn-based game may not need ray tracing. You're a slow-moving turn-based game. Just give natural light. Like, well, you don't have to do ray tracing just to say you got it. So to that point, I agree with Level. I don't believe every game needs to utilize uh, these type of, because the weight is so heavy on the system, right? The point that I want to say this as well. I I do believe we need it though. I believe in order to create some of these bigger worlds, I do believe the way forward is dynamic lighting, because it feels more natural. Dynamic lighting does. Um, and I do think that technology needs to be. But my problem with that, here's my problem. I don't believe these consoles are really able to take advantage of ray tracing. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
I don't think the problem
You
is
hit
that
my
we're
point,
pushing.
right? You hit my point. That's what I'm getting. Okay, go ahead.
I think the promise of ray tracing that these consoles gave us um, was an oversell. When because I'm kind of person that I like to watch the documentaries of games, like to hear people talk about games and what they're doing. And what I've seen and heard, and some of the behind the scenes, especially Digital Foundry, there is a lot um, of ray tracing functionality that is not utilized in console games. There's a lot of materials that don't get ray traced. There's a lot of like shadows that don't get ray traced. There it is ray trace light when it comes to most console games. When you go to PC space, everything ray traced. You got everything is using this dynamic lighting because you have the horsepower to use it. But when you talk about these console games, to me, and the easy way for me to say it is ray trace light. When you see when they made the comparisons, so what they would do, Digital Foundry, is that they would try to match the settings on console with PC. And what you would see is, if you watch some of Digital Foundry, they would say, "Well, this is on low. This
It's
is
always on low.
non-existent. This is on low. Okay, this is on medium, but it's only for these type of reflections, non-metallic. No, it was like non-something objects, and then this is on low, right? Again, I think it's the promise of ray tracing I think was overpromised with these consoles. I don't think these consoles are really able to do ray tracing and give you the performance um, that you expect. Because when these games, these Sony games go to PC, you're getting 120 frames per second ray trace, additional ray trace here, additional ray trace here, shadow ray trace, texture mapping, 4K. You get all that, and like and keep the sanity. These games look beautiful on the PC, but that ain't what you playing on
Facts.
the console.
I'm sorry.
So that's my stance on it, is that I do think the technology is needed. I do think the technology needs to be pushed forward. I do believe we need people working on ray tracing and creating beautiful games and pushing things to the limit. We do need a GTA 6 that's going to introduce new technologies that we haven't even thought of that we can even do on this system. Uh, but I believe Sony and Microsoft oversold us on ray tracing in this generation.
And
My
then,
stance.
I want to.
okay, go ahead.
My bad. I got a few questions for y'all PlayStation 5 owners. One, is the system quiet?
No.
Like when
Yes.
you play?
Well, mine is.
No?
I don't. I mean, quiet is relative compared to the
Compared to the PlayStation 5, yeah, it's quiet compared to that.
PS4, that thing was an airplane.
Yeah, it's quieter than my 4, but I ain't gonna say it's quiet. Like the
Okay.
Switch is quiet. The PlayStation is a comfortable ambience in the background. It's not.
I never noticed it. To be honest.
Okay.
But
And my second question is, because I haven't been fully paying attention, but are they also saying the same things, K-Bum, with the PS5 Pro? Because I thought that was the premise of the PSSR, was to mitigate some of those issues with ray tracing, and it could utilize those things better than the regular PS5.
Oh, the ray tracing in the PS5 Pro is far better than the regular PS5 ray tracing. They're able to do ray tracing and hit 60 frames per second in some games.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me say this. Okay, sorry. Let me say this. So the 30 frames per second, which was the cinematic mode that used all the ray tracing features that they were using, they're able to run that at 60 on the Pro. So the cinematic graphic option on the 5 is now a 60 frames per second in most games. A 60 frames per second locked game mode on the Pro.
Okay.
So what I was going to say, and then we wrap this up, is K-Bum. First of all, I was shocked that you somewhat agree with me, but that's my point. If we can say that they sold us a bill of goods, and that you feel like these systems can't really do what the technology that they're using requires, then it's because we trying to do something we're not at yet. Like, again, clearly the councils can't handle ray tracing for real, but we want to use ray tracing to sell the console, and that's my issue. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, do we really need it? Yeah, you using it to sell the system. You're using it to make it appear to be, oh, this is why you need the PlayStation 5 over the PlayStation 4, or why you need the PlayStation 5 Pro. But the truth is, no, y'all really need high-end PCs if y'all really want to experience a lot of the stuff that these folks talking about that the council really can't give you. It's going to give you some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but you might be able to pull off a lot of what you're pulling off even with the older engines and stuff like that, with some of the static and other things that y'all kind of talked about earlier, without trying to utilize ray tracing or want to be ray tracing, however you frame that, K-Bum. Make-believe ray tracing or ray tracing adjacent. This is ray tracing adjacent. But it really says to me that we're not there yet, so stop acting like we are. That's what it says to me. We are not here yet, so let's stop pretending to be, and let's focus on where we're actually at. And then, so if that means we still on these other tools, use those tools and perfect those tools. And then when the gaming councils get to the power that you need to really utilize ray tracing and it's real for real, the way it's meant to be used, then we'll do it at that point. Why do it now when the systems can't really do it? Then it just turns into, like you said, you just use it to sell me on the system. Right?
Yeah. I will. Yes, 85% of me agrees exactly with what you said. 15% of me said I played a Ratchet and Clank, and I disagree. But see, it's only, I think, to be honest, the only person that's really use ray tracing to the degree that it's been um, that it was put as far as what the system can do. I think Insomniac is the only people that have really utilized it
Yeah.
to a high degree. Um, I'll say this. So when I saw, I was surprised because EA said when they created the last Star Wars game, that was Star Wars: The Falling, not the Falling Order. What was it
Survive.
called? Survivor. They
Survivor.
said every single game, every single graphic option had ray tracing. They said it was essential to their game. Ray tracing was, and then they later came out with a PS4 version of Star Wars. It was like a year or so later. And when that game was played against the PS5 version, you could barely really see a difference.
Let me pull that up. I remember that. Hold up. Let me pull that up. Go
And
ahead.
and I was shocked that the PS4 version looked as
We
good as
looked
it
at
did.
that before.
And I couldn't even really tell a difference. The only people really in this generation that has proven to me that they know what they're doing with ray tracing is Insomniac. Because their ray tracing makes me say, wow. I don't think too many games this generation has made me say, wow. So that's my thing. But I and that's why the 15% of me, like 85% of me agree with you level. Like these companies are doing something that these systems are not capable of doing. And I want to 100% agree with you. But then a part of me says innovation comes where things are restricted.
All right,
Innovation
yes, bro.
comes when things are tight. That's where you create. That's when innovation flourishes. Not when you have a bunch of headspace, right? The PS3 was a bunch of headspace. It could do all these things, and they really didn't even max the PS3. But when we saw the PS4, even one reason why we're talking about how beautiful it was because man, they figured the PS4 out and they maximize it. And I think innovation comes from this place of restriction. But like I said, the rest of me agrees with Level because for the most part, they are trying to do something that these systems can't really do. Like look at the game here. It's not too far off. And to be
And that,
honest, if it didn't have the words PS5 and PS4 up top, would you tell the difference?
that's what I was going to say. Like, for me, yeah, I can see the difference. I wouldn't pay attention to the difference if you didn't have the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 up top. But you can see the difference in the lighting. Like I can tell that the lights on the clothes differ between the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. But this is my question. Do we really care? That's what I'm asking. Like, do we really care? Because when I played Ratchet and Clank, I was playing performance mode over the mode with ray tracing until they added the one that kind of blended it. And I was perfectly fine with the performance mode. I'd rather have the 60 frames than the ray tracing at 30. I wanted the solid frame rate. Seemed to be
I think it was always ray tracing with performance RT.
no,
I
no,
thought
no, no.
because
It came later.
Spider Man didn't start with it. No. Because Spider Man didn't start with ray tracing. I think you're talking about Spider Man. Spider Man didn't start with ray tracing.
No, no.
Spider Man was the first
I'm talking
game.
about Ratchet. I'm talking about Ratchet and Clank from
No,
what I.
no. I think Ratchet and Clank came out with ray tracing. It was Spider Man that didn't have the ray tracing.
No, yeah, it came out with ray
No,
tracing. You had what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying.
no. Performance with ray tracing. What I'm saying is that when Spider Man first came out, Spider Man Miles Morales, it had either ray tracing with cinematic or performance mode, and we played performance mode when that
Yeah, I
came
played.
out.
Yeah,
Then
definitely.
they figured out how to do ray tracing with 60 frames per second. What I'm saying
Okay.
is when they got to Ratchet and Clank, I believe that came with it.
Okay, maybe I'm
Ray
wrong. I
ray
thought it.
tracing as an option. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I think it was Spider-Man that Spider-Man did.
maybe
I
it
know
was.
Spider-Man
Maybe it
did not
was.
have it
I know. Right.
because
One of them. I don't.
it was Spider-Man.
I
They
know
were first.
I know Spider-Man didn't have it, and it
Yes.
came later. Well, for whatever reason,
But I believe when they
thought
came
ray
out with
tracing.
Ratchet and Clank, that
Maybe I'm wrong on
already
that. Maybe I'm
found a
wrong
way
on
to
that.
do it.
But my point of
Yes.
when I have to choose between ray tracing, if they don't have the blended performance option, blended ray tracing performance, I was choosing performance, and I even though I enjoyed like on Ratchet and Clank, I enjoyed the blended. And I used that one over the other one. I still didn't think it looked much better than before. I don't even think it looked better than performance. I just whatever in me felt like I needed to have that middle option on.
I disagree. I sat there and looked at the screen because of the reflections. And that's why I say I believe it came with ray tracing because I remember sitting at the screen looking at the reflections, and even in the beginning mode, when you first get your power to go through the teleport thing,
Yeah,
like the floor was reflective, right?
right. I remember. Yeah.
And when I remember just sitting there looking. That's why I believe that had ray tracing
No, I'm
in it.
not. I
But
gave that
but
go. I
Miles
gave that
Morales,
over. I gave that up.
Miles Morales. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry.
No, I'm not even fighting for that no more. I'm taking your word that it was there. I'm saying even when I was playing Ratchet and Clank, when I had all three options, whether it was at the beginning or later, it don't matter. At that point, don't matter to me. Is the fact that even that sometimes I didn't really feel like I was getting a benefit over performance, but I stuck with the middle. I guess for some in me said just stick with the middle because it's the best of both worlds. But I didn't feel like I was getting a better experience. I kept going back and forth trying to see, am I really getting a better fit? And that may have been a little more reflective, a little more. But in the course of the game, I really didn't care because I wanted that smooth frame rate. To me, that's what mattered. And so even to this day, if left to have to choose between the two, I'm choosing performance. At 1080p, 60 frames still looks better. Now, again, if they have the hybrid performance ray tracing, I'm going to go with that option. And so that's my thing. Are we at a point, like you said here with Star Wars Survivor, I see the lighting difference, but if you told me which one looked ugly, I'm like, they both look good. I wouldn't feel like I'm losing nothing if I didn't get the PlayStation 5 version. I only play that because I know it's a newer system and it's supposed to be more powerful, and some of them make me feel like I got to play that version. But just like you said, looking at this, I don't feel like y'all missing anything because I don't have ray tracing. And
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think the point of it is it's not to like focus on it. It's just supposed to be like this natural thing that's occurring, and you're not even supposed to really you notice it because of what you notice in real life. So it's not even something that you're like, oh, I see the ray tracing. That's not the whole point. So using this example with the Star Wars, yeah, both of them, I would play both of them. But
ain't that the seller? Don't you need? If I don't see the difference, then why am I paying more for it if I don't really see it?
What do you mean paying more?
You just said that's not the point. Ray tracing is why games cost more. Because of ray tracing, they cost more. That's why they $79.99. They using ray tracing.
Are those games not the same price?
Huh?
Are they not the same price?
Well, this one is the PS4 game, but not every game. But not. I wouldn't say that level. Not every game is on PS5 is using ray tracing.
I know that. I'm just saying that was one of the justifiers for $69.99 was the new bells with ray tracing. Was now not all of them use it, but they gonna definitely make that game that price. And not all games are $69.99. So let's be real. Ratchet and Clank wasn't, but those games that use those bells and whistles are more. But I'm taking what Keith said. If it's not, the purpose is not to really notice it, then what's the purpose?
What I'm saying is you'll notice it, but I'm saying it's like you're not supposed to like stop and just marvel at it. It's just supposed to be like a natural thing that's happening in the game. You know what I mean? Like
I got what you mean. I'm just
it's just
saying,
supposed to
So
just be happening
yeah, but if I compare
with
to what
with great performance.
right, if I compare what K Bum said earlier, when every time a new technology came out, it took time to develop. Like when we got Mario 3D World, when we got Halo, when we got Gears for the first time in HD, man, that stuff was, oh my God, amazing. Now we at the point to where it's like y'all said earlier, it's just supposed to be subtle, but you paying a lot more for subtle changes, subtle differences.
I disagree with that because I was blown away
I'm
with
just want to see.
Ratchet. I disagree with the subtleness of ray tracing because I was blown away with Ratchet and Clank with the ray tracing.
I was
Like
too, but
I was like the ray tracing. Like I sat there and looked at the ray tracing because it was so beautiful. Like
I ain't gonna say I
it
did
wasn't
all that.
like this game where it was like okay and it just fit in. I sat there and I'm like
Let's
the
go to
whole
Red.
time like this is why I have a PlayStation 5 is for this game.
Let's go
And
to
like I said, I played on the hybrid mode because I wanted the performance, but I also wanted ray tracing. I couldn't play on the 30 frames per second mode because it didn't. I actually played on 30 frames per second and I turned it off immediately because my eyes was bleeding and my head was hurting. So, but
yeah.
I do believe using when using Spider Man, I literally walked around the world to see what had reflections and what didn't because I was like, man, that's dope, man, that's cool. And so, like those games to me isn't this right. Those games it stuck out and it made a difference to me in the realism of the world that I was in.
Those are also
So
first
I
party
do
games.
disagree a little bit when talking about Ratchet and Spider Man.
Okay. Like,
Those are first party games.
no, don't. I don't want you to get me wrong. Ratchet and Clank was highly impressive. I was just saying it was. I ain't gonna sit up there and say it wasn't, but I'm a concede. You're right. It was. It was highly impressive. I'm gonna show it here because when once you see it and then it is noticeably different. And you can see it here, like you can see the ground, the lights. So you're not lying, you're not wrong there. So I would say Ratchet and Clank was the exception. What was it? Miles Morales. Yes, I didn't trip off of it as much there. I just, even when I got the middle, I stayed with it, but I didn't really notice it. But you do notice it in Ratchet and Clank. I can't front on that. Ratchet and Clank does it extremely well. That is
So
true.
I think this is your point you're trying to make, level. NBA 2K, and I said this a while ago, actually looks worse with ray tracing.
Okay.
Remember we watched that video. You showed that video about NBA 2K and how it's worse. And I told you the reason why it was worse is the reason why it's worse is because they use ray tracing for NBA 2K now for the stadium lighting instead of baked in lighting.
Right.
That's why the color
Static
looks
lights.
washed out. It looks washed out. It doesn't look vibrant as
Got you.
it did when they used the static light. That is an example of something that didn't need ray tracing.
Got you.
It's an arena.
Yeah, you're not lying, K-Bum. Now that I'm looking at it, it's been a while since I played Ratchet Clank. It did look amazing. You absolutely tell the truth. I can't front. I forgot how good this freaking game look. I might go play the Ratchet Clank. Go, y'all, bust to bed. Thank you for my kids. Go on to bed.
Yeah, that's night and day, bro.
Yeah, you not. Now I'm looking at it. I'm like, Levels, you just forgot how good looking this game was. Now, I take it back, everybody. Some games definitely proven. I can admit when I was proven wrong, and I'm definitely wrong on this one. But this, like you said, K-Bub, this is probably one of the few that really
Yes,
did show the difference. This
yes.
game, yeah, you're right. This is honest God, look,
It's
amazing
one of the few.
game.
I wish they would. I wish they would go back to static lighting for NBA 2K. I wish
Yeah,
they would stop doing ray tracing and go back to static lighting because the skin color of the players are not correct. It's off and it's been off. since they made the switch, and it doesn't look right. And I wish they would go back. That's a game that fits your criteria. So that's why I
Right.
said a lot of me still agrees with what you're saying. That you are absolutely correct. Like a game like Tekken. Tekken doesn't need. I don't know if it does. I actually don't think Tekken does. But like Tekken wouldn't need ray tracing.
Does it
It's-
work
it's a-
with Ratchet and Clank because of the animated style of Ratchet and Clank?
No, it is their skills.
Okay.
No, because
It is. So go ahead.
these environment, like when they was in that arena looking area and you saw the ceiling on the floor, the shadow, not shadow, but the reflection on the floor, like your brain is automatically already trying to do that, but ray tracing is actually doing it.
Yeah.
Because like I remember when I used to play these types of games, I would see that in my mind, but and that's what I was kind of trying to get at. Like these things are just naturally occurring. You would think that these things would be happening anyways, or
gotta
you would
go
have thought
back
that
and
we
play
were
this
already
game, man.
here
I
doing
gotta
this
go
type
back
of stuff. But this level of ray tracing, I wish you could show Cyberpunk.
I can show it if
Nah,
you want
that-
me to.
we probably need to wrap up. But that
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is
Look, K-Bun calling the shots. It's time to wrap up. They told us what we finna do. Did you hear him, Keith? No, we finna wrap this up. I was like, okay, well, we wrap it up, y'all. K-Bun has spoken.
No, you're right. Right. Cyberpunk is the prime example of ray tracing done right. That game, yeah, it looks amazing. It has all the notes when it comes to the lighting effects and like the small lighting in certain areas and the way that it reflects and the bleeding of the color is awesome. Like in Cyberpunk, so I'll leave it at that. It's beautiful.
Okay. Anything else, man, before we get out of here? Are we done or are we finished? K-Bun wasn't fronting with his I was proven wrong, people. I don't mind admitting it. Here's Cyberpunk. Get y'all a little bit of this in there before we get out of here. I'm gonna be honest with you. The example don't pop like Ratchet. Not the example I'm showing. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Okay.
The example I'm showing don't pop like Ratchet, but okay, now it is. Okay, they showing the neon lights in the city.
I wonder what. Oh, you looking at the same one?
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with path tracing. K-Bun, you familiar with path tracing?
Path tracing. I forget what the difference is. I don't remember.
Ray tracing.
I think path tracing is heavier than ray tracing.
So did y'all really enjoyed ray tracing?
When
y'all
done
really
right.
y'all really enjoyed Cyberpunk. That's what I mean to say.
Oh, Cyberpunk. It was a good 60 hours. Yeah, I played it for 60 hours. I beat it. It was good.
All right.
Oh man, that DLC is phenomenal.
They trying to cause my boys to lose tonight, and that's not gonna happen. We gonna beat y'all. We gonna come back.
That's your number 2? I put 85 hours in that game.
All right. Well, that was
One up me. I see you.
that was the show for tonight. Okay, well, when you gonna go back to Project Stella? Go back to Stellar Blade, man. When you gonna go back playing Stellar Blade?
I still got to beat that. I'm trying to beat Last of Us 2 first.
All right.
'Cause I got to beat it before the series come out. So that's what I'm trying to do. But the TV series
When that come out?
soon.
I'll get HBO.
All right, man. Please go check out that Daredevil, bro. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Norris, finish that, please. They trying to steal this game from my boys, but they not gonna do it. We gonna come back. Thank y'all for tuning in on tonight. I'm gonna let these dudes sign out. Starting out with Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Norris, your floor.
My floor. I'm the GOAT. No, just playing. Man, if y'all can hear some of the conversation we be having behind the scenes. Man, good show. It did get a little heavy with the tariffs, but it's necessary. Can't always, run behind our rose tinted glasses, you know, and just try to see the world that we want to make in our own mind when there's real things going on around us. So if you could, if you missed it, check the archives, go back and listen to that part. Not only do I need to get educated on this stuff, but we all need to get educated on what's about to happen with this country. Very, 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 very soon. I'm doing things. And of course, the conversation about the graphics, man. I love graphics. I love talking about the nuances and things, the graphics. LeBron just lost the ball or something. He heard it from level. He snapped his leg or something. I don't know. But thank everybody.
Hit that three. He can made the connect. So anyway, go ahead. My bad.
But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, chatting with us, keeping us honest, and until next time.
All right, Mr. K-Bob, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'll be quick, man. I enjoyed myself today. It was a good podcast. I enjoyed the conversations. Enjoy the chat. Thank y'all for coming through as always, you guys. Enjoy the conversation, and we got to get Keith to check out that Jedi Star Wars version of Starfield.
Right.
I gotta find me a video about that. That sounds pretty cool. But other than that, I enjoyed myself for my little 1 week hiatus, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, man. Ditto. I also enjoyed myself. Shouts out to Comic Book Crunch and Kawan, Darkwing Dragon. We had Nia herself up in this piece. We had Cherry, man. I ain't even seen your shouts out, Cherry, man. My bad. Shouts out for you being here, sir. And everyone else that was in the comment section. If I don't see that many others. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Like you said, yeah, we got real with the Tariffs because that's a real situation. We know we enjoy our gaming, but these are life-altering things. As a parent, as a husband, father, you know, owning mortgage and different things like that. These things are serious. So even though it's going to affect our gaming, it's going to go beyond gaming. So like we said, man, be watching, be mindful, be praying, and be preparing for whatever may be coming down the road. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Lord willing. Pray that y'all be blessed and highly favored. See y'all next time. Till then, deuces. Peace.
Bro, we got smashed, bro.